The future of recruitment: crystal clarity. Did you know the writer of this article, me, has gone through more than hundreds of interviews in about 20 years? And if there had been an achievement of this, it would have been appeared on my profile with a golden badge. Well, this is real. And because of that achievement, I found myself worthy enough to share my experiences in this article. Take no offense, but take them as improvement and motivation. You may keep reading this article if you are not in top 1%. In other words, if you are not holding the 45.8% of global wealth. In simple words, if you are not in the rich category. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on LinkedIn or reading any articles but waking up on a yacht, and your only struggle would be deciding which port should you spend the day with your drink. But if you are not coming from a family that holds a certain amount of wealth and doesn't need to work at all, this means you need to find a job for a living and you need to work until the time comes. So the journey begins. Firstly, they call you and ask for some basic details, such as work permits, location, the reason for willing to change your current role, notice period, and check if you are suitable for this job and for the company, which is completely fine. The funny part in here is most of the recruiters are either newly graduate or have about 6 months of experience, and the company is asking for a senior level role or a manager for someone who has 20 years of experience in the field, and they are relying on a newbie recruiter to decide if this candidate suits this role or not. Some best matches cannot even pass this first stage because of the inexperienced recruiters and this false recruitment process. This first part does also make career changing impossible because of auto-elimination, and they only look at your recent title. Everyone is after an easy life, so if you started your career as a barista, they think you will be a barista until you get retired, because it is easy to them, and their system is created like that. And secondly, please do take this seriously when advertising the job. And please stop telling people that the holiday entitlement is one of the whole company's advantages. Holidays are not benefits, they are people's rights by law. If you want to talk about why the company is the best place to work, tell them about something that really is a bonus. Maybe a day off on your holiday, birthday, cycle to work scheme, and gym subscriptions, or just tell them how you approach on sick days and how you contribute to their pension. Tell them about how you dealt with the pandemic and what you did and how you treated your employees during the lockdown. Tell them about hybrid working and plans for future. You all ask us how we dealt with something when issues occurred, or how we led a project under different circumstances. You ask us so many questions like that, but why don't you tell us about your side? These are the things that we want to hear. Otherwise, we all know that we all have 25 days of holidays wherever we go. There is also another stage where we get asked about our qualifications. Since when certifications took over degrees? There are lots of us with master's degrees and even doctorate degrees. But when we do not have any certifications, we are identified as unqualified people. And telling the similarities of an MBA, an ACCA or CIMA to a recruiter is a real pain. They just look at your certifications, don't care about your master thesis, your publications, or your 6 years of hard earned PhD, and tell you that you are not qualified. The journey continues. Let's say somehow you were not eliminated by the automatic HR system or the program that knows so much and eliminates candidates automatically by checking some keywords, and you made it to the second stage where you are interviewed by two experienced people who are likely going to be your managers or supervisors. Here comes the routine questions, such as tell us about a time or give us an example of a time, etc. In here, you need to be the greatest faker if you want to get the job. It doesn't matter how superior you are or how super you will be for the role. But you need to tell them some fantasy that never happened and give them what they would like to hear instead of facts to get the job. It is mostly the second part of interview that decides if you get the job or not. I happen to get some questions that the answers should be entirely made up and cannot even get into the circumstances, even if you intend to. When this mutually faking stage ends, some managers like to beat the candidates with their sector experience by asking them technical questions about the sector and the actual job. Once I got a question by someone who asked me how to do double entry on a general ledger. My reply was only denying answering the question. Instead, I told them that these technical questions can be learned by Google in 2 minutes. But if you hire me, you will work with me most of the day, and I will be a part of your life. So maybe you should know more about me. You should learn who I am, what my personality is. You shouldn't question me with some nonsense technical questions where I can get the answers in a minute or a two. There's also another funny part in the second stage that when you are in a different sector and coming from another company, they take you for an alien or something like that. As for me, having several sector experiences, I always tell them that you should break this thought and let other people contribute in diverse ways. They might be coming from another sector, but they might be thinking differently. And by this variety of thought, things could be seen and challenged or even established in better ways. The second stage usually ends after about an hour. And if they tell you at the end that there will be other candidates too they are going to interview, you should know that they didn't choose you. This is one of the keywords that one can experience and understand. The journey goes on. The last stage usually happens for formality, and this is the part where you meet with the director of the department, whom you will never work with if it is a big company. They usually talk like they are in a rush, and their only observation is focused on how you talk. This is because you might be presenting something to the high management one day and they just want someone who can be able to express themselves. Confidence is the key in this final stage because there should be only you in the stage and there maybe they are between two candidates and you are one of them. After the final stage, if they didn't call you for a very long time and now they are suddenly calling you and saying that they accepted you, you should know that they hired the other person. But then the other person left the role as soon as they get it, and now they are desperate and they need you as a last remedy. Also, it is quite possible that things go to the other way around, and you might get an email from the HR saying they have feedback for you and want to speak with you. This feedback should be taken as a lesson, and this is very valuable experience for you for the future interviews. Do not waste this opportunity, as most companies do not do that. This feedback is much better than receiving an auto email with full of nicely selected words starting with regret to inform or unfortunately. The final stage could be otherwise too if you are lucky. The HR might suddenly call you just before sending the contract to tell you that you are hired and ready to be deeply checked and might give you the starting date. There could be some negotiations of salary during this call or not. They usually send you the contract afterwards and expect you to agree their terms. I can now tell you how you feel after getting this call. You are not sure if you did it right or wrong, or if you are happy with that decision or not. Change is a risk, and leaving your comfort zone is difficult, but it is necessary. So at the end, I better remind you that no offense should be taken, as this article is only my experience, and I hope everyone finds their dream job and every company finds their dream employee. And why crystal clarity? It is because everything is crystal clear. All you need to do is read the signs. If you are not the greatest faker, you need to focus and concentrate hard and work best to make a difference. This applies to the interviews and to the work. Good luck. Thank you for listening. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.